Hi friends, this is your pal Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons. We're going to talk about Project Sigil, and we're going to talk about Professor Dungeon Master's coverage of the firing of 90% of the Project Sigil, 90% of the Project Sigil team. Okay. All right, so let's get into this. So first of all, I'm going to roll hard at Professor Dungeon Master. I always do, and the reason why is, so why do I talk about Professor Dungeon Master so much? I want to talk about the OSR, but really the OSR has virtually no real. They don't have anybody to speak for them, right? So one, I actually believe that Shadow Dark is a false flag. I don't actually think it's an OSR at all. I actually think it's one of the most innovative, progressive, new school games that exist. So I actually think calling Shadow Dark OSR is category fraud. Exactly what like people complained about, like Zoe Saldana winning Best Actress for Amelia Perez, right? Like category fraud. The Martian winning an Oscar for being a comedy, right? I think it's wrong to think of Shadow Dark as an OSR. So Kelsey doesn't really, I don't think she actually speaks for the OSR at all. And then Ben from Questing Beast is just a little too laid back, but Professor Dungeon Master, he's extremely well informed, and I think he's one of the most listened to voices in OSR. When I'm talking about Professor Dungeon Master, also I'm often talking about OSR at the macro level. But let's get into this. So what blew me away? So I want to say that Professor Dungeon Master was being hypocritical, right? But I think that's a little harsh. I don't think Professor Dungeon Master is a hypocrite. I think he was being very disingenuous in this video. So he comes out and he left some stuff out. So let's get into it. So first of all, he comes in and he goes, "Oh, I feel so terrible for this, for the project, for the Project Sigil team. It's just terrible that they lost their jobs, and this is just terrible to hear, And so you're like, wait a second, you've been complaining ad nauseum, kicked in the butt every 3 months by Glicker from over on Roll for Combat. The two of you have been saying, I tell you, everybody, they're going to completely get rid of every print book. It's all going digital. It's all going to be digital. It's all going to be digital. Wait. Wait. You've been complaining about that and warning people about, D&D killing print books for years, right? And crying foul against Hasbro and WotC for doing this. But then when they literally can, the people who are going to take it digital, now there's nothing but sympathy. That seems a little disingenuous to me. That, like, shouldn't you be raising a glass? Like, isn't this what you wanted, right? Isn't the failure of projects, and that's another thing, right? They keep telling you, it's going to be all digital, right? Dude, Concord just lost $200 million after an 8-year development span, right? The idea that Wizards of the Coast, do you remember, was it called Gleemax? Right? Like, Wizards of the Coast has failed on digital projects virtually every single time. The idea that Project Sigil would be successful and would sweep the D&D scene was absurd on the face of it. Like, there's no possibility that this was going to be like a hit, right? It's absurd, right? And that's the thing that really frustrates me is, he's been squawking this noise that, you'll never get another print book. They're just going to take the whole thing digital, and darn them all, because, man, I hate the fact that it's not 1984 anymore. And I'm like, come on, man. Like, you've been complaining and warning about this. Then when the entire team gets canned, nothing but sentiment. Pour a glass out. We all need to be sad. Isn't this what you've been hoping for? Like, it's just outrageously disingenuous. I really don't think this is outrageously disingenuous. I really feel that he's talking out of two sides of his mouth, right? Like, and also there's no recognition that he was steering everybody wrong for like the last 15 videos, right? Like for months, for probably a year and a half. that, oh, Project Sigil's going to just bust open the doors and everything's going to happen. And wow, it's, boy, it's going to all be, it's going to go exactly, oh, it's just all going to be digital. It's going to be a smooth glass road to the digital future. Dude, man. And then also saying at the same time that the D&D 5i books are not doing well when they're outperforming virtually every, just my opinion, if you look, it's on the shelves everywhere. Every place that buys books bought these things, right? And Shadow Dart you can't even find it at an FLGS, right? Like, he is just ignoring outrageous information to paint this picture that D&D sucks, right? And that WotC has these ill plans for you, right? WotC does the best they can, right? They want to serve the digital fans, they want to serve the physical fans, and they are not leaving anybody out, right? And so Professor Dungeon Master coming in and saying that, oh, darn, I'm so sad for these people. Are you? Like, isn't this exactly what you wanted? Isn't this what you and Glicker on Roll for Combat have been hoping for and actually carefully putting up information to like paint this picture that all this digital stuff was evil? It's absurd. I really feel he's just being disingenuous, right? And so also, if it sounds like I'm actually not I watch every single video Professor Dungeon Master does, okay? I honestly believe he has a better channel than me, and I know he has one because I know he works way harder than I do. Like recently he said he is putting immense amount of hours into his channel, like just tremendously, large amounts of hours. He's traveling to conventions. He's cutting his stuff. He's editing stuff. He's splicing in, he is working so hard, right? But the reality is, I really feel like he needs to cut away from Glicker. He's got to cut away from Glicker on Roll. That guy is nothing but an outrageous, in my humble opinion, that guy is an outrageous Dungeons & Dragons hate monger. He is building his brand on the destruction of Dungeons & Dragons. And I really feel he's got Professor Dungeon Master's ear, right? And so I see Glicker from Roll for Combat like Wormtongue, just whispering poison into a good man's ear, and so it's got to stop. I really, and the reality is, like, pick a lane, right? Either get on board and support Dungeons and Dragons, right? And stop complaining that people won't watch your other videos. Cover Dungeons and Dragons genuinely and with excitement and with celebration, and do that on the now. Stop trying to wish that your dusty old tomes were embraced by the young. They're never going to be, right? Like, just embrace Dungeons and Dragons now. I think Professor Dungeon Master is a great voice in the hobby, but he's got to be more genuine, and he has got to get that frickin' Wormtongue off of his shoulder, right? Like, this has got to stop. And I really feel he was not genuine. Like, he's been saying, oh yeah, it's going to be all digital. It's just going to be a smooth glass road to the digital world. I assure you, right? You were 100% wrong. Project Sigil was a complete dead cat drop. It was just a complete dead cat drop. Not even a bounce, right? Like, and the idea that this was going to, like, steal away a single book, purchase is ludicrous. And I apologize for getting wound up. I want the truth to get out on Dungeons and Dragons, and I'm so sick to death. He's sitting here saying that 5i is not doing well, right? You know what's not doing well? Deathbringer, right? That's not doing well. That's where the real suck numbers are, right? Like, this is absurd. It is literally absurd. This is the biggest print run in the history of tabletop role-playing games. Like, it has been widely received as a massively successful version, and he's got nothing but vitriol for it. It's so frustrating. And I really feel he's got to sever himself from that wicked Wormtongue Glicker from over on Roll for Combat. He needs to start embracing people who love Dungeons & Dragons instead of people who hate Dungeons and Dragons. I'm really, I'm rooting for him. I'm hoping he comes through. Every single word you just heard in this video is my humble opinion. Not a thing more, not a thing less. The important part is when I get to hear your humble opinion. When you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider like and subscribing, and a fetch millennium.